Well, hello, courageous leaders, and welcome back. Reading your first drafts is my absolute favorite part of this process. You know why? Because I can really see the gems, right? I can see those rocks that are going to become diamonds in just a few more drafts. And it's absolutely my favorite part. And I'm honored and thrilled that you trust me enough to share your stories with me and journey with me, have me journey with you, I should say, through this process. So thank you. But let's get to it, okay? I want to offer you some real and candid feedback as you think about writing your draft 2. So I need you to write down 2 things, or you can type them up. Here are the 2 things that really are important. The first is, what is the goal of the essay? The goal is interesting, engaging, compelling, right? The goal is double click. Interesting, engaging, compelling. And number 2, remember, the essay is about your why and not your what. Keep both of these things in mind, and you will really see how every version of your essay is going to grow and grow and become better and better. Trust me on this process. Here's the good news. You all have plenty to write about. I am sure that of those 8, I've helped you to pick 4, but there's probably others in there that you could write about as well. So you have plenty to write about, but you are going to take some time today to choose 4 that you'll continue moving on, okay? So I do touch on, in another video, I touch on how you choose the best combination of that 4. So don't fear, we'll get there. All right, I want you to keep 7 things in mind. Here are my top 7 tips. And so here's the first one. For each of the essays, I need you to stay focused on one window of time. So in draft 2, I'm asking you to expand on 4 of the 8 topics. But what I mean by that is to really still stay focused on that one memory and expand on it. So just tell me more about that specific memory and how it relates to your why. So that 1 hour, that one moment, that one meal, that one game, one specific moment of time, window of time. Tips number 2 and 3. Resist the notion to write a topic sentence or like a thesis statement. This is not an English paper, right? And every word counts, so you really want to just jump right in, okay? Just jump right in. Tip number 3 is using the 5 senses wherever possible. I want you to paint the picture for the reader of this particular moment. Paint that picture. Now, using the 5 senses and descriptive language is different than flowery or poetic or metaphoric language, okay? We, for the most part, want to avoid that. So let me give you an example. I found this in from my students from the fall. So here was her first stab at an opening sentence. I often compare myself to an archaeologist combing through the catacombs with a polishing brush in hand. Yet I can't imagine that archaeologists feel the same sense of dread when they find a missing comma or a letter written backwards. Okay? Lovely. That's 40 words. 40 words out of 350, that's a lot of words. So instead, here was the next, I think, draft 2 or 3, she came back with this opening. He was quiet, slowly writing something on a single sheet of paper. David's brow furrowed, his grip firm, and his paper littered with eraser shavings. I was so compelled to see what he wrote, and I moved towards him. Presenting a proud smile, he shoved the paper towards me, the word David spelled in all caps, both D's facing the wrong direction. Okay, so now you can see where she's going. And using descriptive language, you say what you mean and mean what you say. Okay, think about that for a second. All right, tip number 4, show versus tell. I'm going to give you a quick example, but there's a whole video on this, so you can go back to it. My quick example is, rather than telling me something was difficult, describe it for me. For example, after a really hard workout, I was exhausted. Okay, fantastic. Describe it. Show voice would be something like this. I placed my hands on my knees to catch my breath and wiped away the sweat pouring down my face. The 9-minute mile was my new personal best. See the difference? Tip number 5, draft 2 is not going to be perfect, and that's perfect for right now. Draft 2 is really about digging in and getting that story down on paper. When I say paper, I mean on the computer that you're going to turn into us. So you're probably going to write more than you need, right? And I'd rather you do that in draft 2. So draft 2 is much more about just getting that story out and not so much of perfecting each sentence, okay? You're going to go through 2 more drafts. So this is not the time to spend on perfecting each sentence. It's just get it out there. Number 6, I cannot emphasize enough to know your why. If you have to write your why down at the top of the page, then do it. But what this is not a list of accomplishments, nor is it a list of the tasks that you did in any club that you were involved in. That's not what this essay is about. Also, this essay is not about somebody else. That cousin, father, mentor, friend is not applying to college. You are, and we want to admit you. So remember to stay focused on you, and the other person is the supporting character. Number 7. If you haven't already, take 15 minutes and read through some of the sample essays. By reading through them, I find that they always inspire me, or I find an idea, or I think, oh, okay, I see, where this is going, and it gets my wheels turning. So if you haven't read through some of that, I would recommend that. All right. The other thing that you can do is you can go find your favorite book and flip through maybe your favorite scene in the book and see how the author is capturing your attention, engaging, compelling, interesting, verbiage, and see what you learn from that. All right. All right. So here's how you're going to move forward, and OB Coach is going to guide you to do these next steps. So first, really take a look at my feedback. I've made suggestions for you as to which topics are working well so far, so really take a look at my feedback. Ultimately, this is your choice, but I'm here to help you and guide you. You're going to need to select 4 topics that you will move forward with, and we have a video to help you do that. Number 3, once you've selected your 4 to pursue, then you're going to begin drafting your second draft. So for each of those topics, you're going to do draft 2. If you need to brainstorm a bit more, watch some of the videos and read some of the sample essays, but take no more than 15 minutes to do that and really get going and start writing. You're going to set your timer for 20 minutes and draft 2 of each of the topics. And then when you're ready, we'll repeat that step again. All right? So when you're ready, when you're done with this video, please text the word ready to OB Coach. Good luck and go get them.